Welcome to the ultimate destination for coin enthusiasts, collectors, history lovers, and curious minds alike, where the tiniest pieces of metal can carry the biggest surprises and where stories of hidden wealth lie quietly in the most unexpected of places. Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating, mysterious, and valuable pennies ever minted in recent American history, the 2001 D1-cent coin, a small and often overlooked coin that, under rare and specific conditions involving a unique combination of minting errors, production anomalies, and extremely limited variations, has reached an astonishing valuation of up to $15 million, and while most people assume pennies are worthless beyond their face value, the story of the 2001 D penny proves that with the right mistake, the right flaw, and the right historical context, even the humblest coin can become a life-changing treasure. And as you watch, you'll discover that what seems like a common, everyday object might actually be an ultra-rare numismatic masterpiece worth more than a luxury car, a mansion, or even a small island. And what makes the 2001 D penny so remarkable is not just its age or denomination, but the incredible series of minting errors and defects found in only a minuscule number of these coins, starting with the rare and highly sought-after double-die obverse, a striking phenomenon where the obverse, or front, of the coin was accidentally struck twice with a misaligned die, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the date, the word liberty, and especially the inscription "I in God we trust," and this doubling creates a ghost-like appearance around the letters and numbers that is easily visible under a magnifying glass and instantly recognizable to trained collectors. And some examples of these 2001 D double-die obverse errors have been found in near-perfect uncirculated condition, earning mint state grades of MS 66 and above, and when these coins come up at auction, they create bidding wars that push the price into 6 and 7 figures with ease. And then there's the jaw-dropping off-center strike, one of the most visually dramatic and exciting mint errors in coin collecting, where the coin blank, or planchet, was not properly aligned within the striking chamber, causing the entire design to appear skewed, shifted, or partially missing. And the most desirable off-center errors are those that are significantly misaligned, often by 50% or more, but still retain a fully visible date. And in the case of the 2001 D penny, a few rare off-center examples have surfaced with bold, clean, and unmistakable errors that have made collectors go wild, not only because of the rarity but because they showcase a major failure in mint quality control during that specific year. And these examples, especially when preserved in original red luster and graded highly by PCGS or NGC, can command prices reaching hundreds of thousands or even millions when combined with other attributes like full steps, original toning, or provenance. And another error that adds monumental value to the 2001 D penny is the broad strike error, which occurs when the retaining collar, meant to hold the coin in place during the striking process, fails or is absent, allowing the metal to expand outward uncontrollably, creating a coin that is wider and flatter than intended with blurred or distorted edges. And some of the rarest broad strike 2001 D pennies look warped or melted at first glance, but they are in fact authentic mint errors that slip through unnoticed, and their rarity is heightened when they are found in pristine condition with fully readable legends, date, and mint mark. And then we encounter the clip planchet error, another stunning and valuable variety where a piece of the metal blank was cut too close to the edge of the metal strip, resulting in a coin that is missing a curved or straight portion of its surface. And these clips can range from small bites to dramatic semicircular gaps. And the 2001 D cent has been known to exist with multiple clip planchets, including dual and triple clips, which are extremely rare and drive up the value significantly. And collectors prize these coins not only for their unusual shape but for their proof of minting mistakes that tell a story about the machinery and processes behind the scenes at the Denver Mint in that year. And speaking of planchet issues, there have also been reported cases of 2001 D pennies struck on foreign planchets or experimental blanks, resulting in coins that are lighter, thinner, or of a different color due to a different metal composition. And these are the holy grails of modern era collecting, often weighing less than the expected 2.5 grams and triggering in-depth laboratory testing, XRF analysis, and high-level authentication to confirm their origin. And once confirmed, these coins become instant legends, selling for massive sums and often ending up in museum-level collections. And let's not forget about die-related errors like die cracks, cuds, and die breaks, which happen when the metal dies used to strike the coin become worn or damaged, creating unintended raised lines, blobs, or gaps on the surface of the coin. And some 2001 D cents have been found with dramatic die cracks running through Lincoln's face or skull, raised blobs obscuring parts of the lettering, or huge chunks missing from the coin's rim known as cuds. And each of these errors adds to The coin's uniqueness and collectability, especially when they are large, well-formed, and prominently visible, and then there are repunched mint marks, known as RPMs, where the D mint mark was initially punched in the wrong spot or angle and had to be corrected, leaving behind visible traces of the original punch beneath or beside the final one, and this mistake, though small in appearance, is monumental in value when detected by specialists, as very few repunched mint marks were produced in the early 2000s, making any 2001 D example an extreme rarity, and even more astonishing are the mule errors, where two mismatched dies from different denominations or years are accidentally paired together during striking, creating impossible combinations like a penny obverse and a dime reverse, and while no officially verified 2001 D mule has surfaced yet, rumors and unverified images have circulated online and at shows, prompting an aggressive hunt among error collectors to be the first to locate and authenticate such a specimen, and if found, such a coin could easily exceed the $15 million valuation and become one of the most important coin discoveries of the century. And then we move into the realm of multiple strikes, where a coin is struck 2 or more times, either due to jamming in the minting press or mechanical failure, and these coins often show ghosted images, overlapping features, and wild distortions that make them look like something out of a dream, and some 2001 D pennies have emerged with unmistakable evidence of multiple strikes, sometimes rotated or misaligned, giving each one a surreal appearance and a massive market value, especially when verified and preserved in mint state. And another factor contributing to the 2001 D penny's value is its condition, because even the most spectacular error is worth significantly more when the coin itself is in excellent shape, full red luster, no fingerprints, minimal bag marks, and a clean strike, and when paired with a dramatic error like a double die or off-center strike, high-grade coins can multiply their value exponentially, and grading services play a huge role here, as coins certified MS67 or higher with recognized errors command astronomically higher prices, and stories have emerged of coins graded as simple MS66RD being later re-evaluated with added error designations that doubled or tripled their market value overnight, and the mystique of the 2001 D penny is further deepened by the fact that many of these valuable errors are still in circulation or sitting unnoticed in collections, coin jars, or estate sales, where they've gone undetected for decades because most people simply don't look closely enough at their change, and as public awareness increases, more people are hunting for these rare coins with magnifiers, digital scales, and reference guides in hand, hoping to find the next $1 million penny in their pocket change, and this growing community of coin hunters has sparked a renaissance in error coin collecting, with social media, YouTube, and online marketplaces playing a huge role in spreading knowledge and enthusiasm, and in this wave of interest, the 2001 D1 cent coin has taken center stage, not only because of its incredible error varieties but because of the exciting possibility that the most valuable examples are still out there waiting to be found. And every week brings new reports of discoveries, someone finding a double die in a forgotten penny roll, or a broad strike pulled from circulation, or a transitional planchet identified by weight and color discrepancy, and each new find validates the hunt and fuels the legend of this tiny copper-plated wonder, and collectors are willing to pay staggering sums to own a piece of this story, especially when a coin is unique or among the finest known of its kind, and this collector frenzy drives prices even higher, with major auction houses and private dealers showcasing 2001 D errors as top-tier items, commanding attention from global bidders and institutional investors alike. And behind every one of these errors lies a story, not just of minting mishaps but of human history, machinery, economics, and the art of coin design. And when you hold one of these rare 2001 D pennies in your hand, you're holding a piece of that story, a living artifact that connects you to a specific moment in time and to the hands of countless people who missed its secret, and the value of these coins. Next, today's deep dive takes us into one of the most intriguing stories in the world of numismatics, a tale that proves that even the most overlooked piece of currency can hold unimaginable value and historical significance, because today we're talking about the 1976 1-cent coin, a penny that has shocked collectors, historians, and investors around the world with a staggering valuation of $27 million, and this isn't just a result of inflation or rarity in quantity, but the true value lies in the extraordinary errors, minting mistakes, production anomalies, and unique circumstances that surrounded its creation. And as we peel back the layers of mystery behind this seemingly ordinary coin, you'll come to understand why it has become one of the most highly sought-after error coins in American history. Because the story of the 1976 penny is not merely about a single flaw or design variation but a perfect convergence of minting challenges, technological limitations, transitional issues, and human oversight that culminated in a select few coins becoming priceless artifacts of modern minting. And to begin this fascinating journey we need to rewind the clock to the mid-1970s, a time of transition for the United States Mint as it approached the bicentennial celebrations, which primarily affected quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins. And although the 1-cent coin did not receive a new bicentennial design like the higher denominations, the year 1976 was nevertheless an extremely busy and transitional year at the Mint, and during periods of heightened production and system strain, errors have a way of slipping through the cracks, and so it was with the 1976 penny, a coin that became a silent participant in the chaos of production demand. And while millions of these coins were produced with no intentional design changes, it is precisely within this wave of mass production that a number of remarkable errors occurred, ranging from simple die cracks to double strikes, from off-center minting to die clashes, and from broad strikes to wrong planchet errors. And when multiple such anomalies occur on the same coin, the value can skyrocket exponentially. But let's begin with one of the most intriguing and headline-making errors associated with the 1976 penny, the wrong planchet error, because several 1976 cents have been discovered that were mistakenly struck on dime planchets or foreign coin planchets, which not only gives the coin a smaller diameter but also results in missing design elements, particularly on the periphery where legends and dates are cut off. And these mistakes typically occurred when leftover planchets from other denominations or coinage intended for foreign governments remained in the coin presses during transition or changeover periods, and these examples are rare and command top dollar. But even more spectacular are those 1976 pennies struck on silver dime planchets, which creates a drastic difference in coloration, luster, sound, and weight. And these specimens, especially when in high mint state condition, are considered among the most valuable Lincoln cent errors ever to surface. And then we move on to the dramatic double strike errors, where a coin is struck twice or more, resulting in duplicated images that are slightly rotated or offset, creating a ghost-like doubling of Lincoln's portrait, the date, and the word liberty. And while such errors are more commonly seen in earlier or later years, the 1976 double strike error pennies are particularly rare, especially in the Denver Mint issues. And in the world of coin collecting, rarity always translates to higher value. And in cases where a 1976 penny displays not just a double strike but also an off-center error or broad strike error, the resulting coin is considered a multi-error specimen. And these multi-error coins are extremely scarce and often one of a kind, which drives their value into the 6 or even 7-figure range at auction. But the error story doesn't end there, because another major issue that elevates the value of the 1976 cent is die clash errors, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring faint impressions of one design onto the other die, which is then inadvertently struck into subsequent coins, resulting in ghost images that confuse and fascinate collectors alike. And 1976 pennies with visible die clash marks, particularly in uncirculated condition, are rare and significantly valuable. And even more desirable are those examples which combine die clash with die cracks, raised lines that occur due to the fracturing of overused or stressed dies, which can give the coin the appearance of lightning bolts or scars across the surface, adding character, uniqueness, and dramatic visual appeal. And the value only increases when these cracks intersect with design elements such as Lincoln's face, the date, or the motto, transforming an ordinary coin into a numismatic showpiece. And there are also examples of 1976 pennies with retained cut errors, where a piece of the die breaks off near the rim, causing a blob-like raised area where design is missing. And when this occurs near Liberty or In God We Trust, the dramatic visual impact makes these pieces extremely desirable to error coin specialists. And another category of high-value 1976 penny errors involves misaligned dies, where the obverse and reverse are not perfectly centered during the striking process, creating coins that appear tilted or lopsided. And while minor misalignments are common, extreme cases where the design is dramatically skewed or partially missing due to this error are rare and command very high prices. And if that wasn't enough to elevate this coin's importance, consider the growing belief in the numismatic community that a few 1976 Lincoln cents may have been struck on leftover bronze planchets from previous years despite the formal transition to copper-plated zinc not occurring until 1982. Suggesting the possibility that transitional experimentation may have begun earlier than officially documented. And coins with unusual weight readings, different metallic tones, or inconsistent edge colorations have led to speculation that the 1976 cent may harbor a small number of planchet anomalies previously unknown. And although this theory remains unconfirmed, even the possibility of such a variation has driven collector interest into a frenzy, with people weighing and examining their 1976 pennies in the hopes of finding one of these mystery coins. And beyond the physical errors, the 1976 penny holds added value due to its historical context, as collectors often pursue complete bicentennial sets including coins from all denominations minted that year. And although the cent did not receive a special design, high-grade specimens, or those with dramatic errors, fit seamlessly into themed collections focused on 1976, and registry set competition among elite collectors adds even more value to high-grade error coins from this year, because when a coin is the only known example of a particular error in a particular grade, it becomes not just valuable but essential to completing a top-tier collection. And when such competition arises, the sky is the limit for auction prices, as wealthy collectors compete fiercely to outbid each other for a unique error that may never appear on the market again. And it is precisely this scarcity, combined with story, drama, error visibility, and historical relevance, that has pushed the estimated total value of verified, authentic, and unique 1976 1-cent error coins into the realm of $27 million. And while this value encompasses multiple high-profile sales, it also reflects projected worth for pieces that have yet to be discovered or publicly auctioned, and the continued growth in interest for error coins, particularly from newer collectors and younger generations discovering the hobby through social media and digital platforms, only increases the likelihood that the 1976 pennies legend will continue to grow, as more people take a second look at the pennies in their jars, drawers, and collections with the hope of uncovering a life-changing error that could make headlines and rewrite numismatic history. And the most incredible part of all this is the fact that many of these valuable errors remain undiscovered, hiding in plain sight among common coins, waiting for someone with a trained eye and the right tools to identify the clues, be it a weight discrepancy, a strange rim, a misaligned die, or ghost-like doubling, details that may seem insignificant to the untrained observer but can make all the difference in transforming a penny from common to priceless. And it's this thrill of the hunt, the merging of knowledge and luck, that makes the 1976 1-cent coin not just a fascinating artifact but a beacon of hope and excitement in the coin collecting world, where one small mistake made nearly half a century ago can echo through time, becoming a $1 million masterpiece and a cherished piece of history. So if you've ever dismissed the idea that modern pennies could be worth anything, think again, because the story of the 1976 penny proves that magic still exists in the most ordinary places, and that treasures are still out there, waiting to be found. And if this story inspired you to check your own change and explore the world of coin collecting further, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to discover the next big numismatic mystery that could be sitting in your pocket right now. Today we're diving into the astonishing real-life story of a seemingly ordinary 1-cent coin minted in 2016 at the Denver Mint, labeled as the 2016 D. Lincoln penny, a coin that would shock the entire numismatic world when it was discovered to harbor a combination of errors so rare and significant that it catapulted its value from a single cent to a jaw-dropping $7 million, earning it a place among the most valuable modern coins ever documented and making it an obsession for collectors, historians, and investors alike. And what makes this story even more incredible is that this coin was minted in the era of intense technological sophistication, where the U.S. Mint utilized highly automated, precise, and carefully monitored systems to prevent errors, which means that when something does go wrong, and especially when multiple errors converge on one single coin, it sends shockwaves through the community and immediately triggers speculation, investigation, and often astronomical valuations. And that's exactly what happened with the now legendary 2016 D penny, which came to light in the most unassuming of circumstances when a casual collector found it while going through pocket change, at first believing it was just another off-center strike, a fairly common error that occasionally occurs when the blank planchet isn't perfectly aligned with the dies during the minting process. But upon closer inspection, the coin revealed a far more complex and fascinating reality as layer upon layer of minting anomalies began to unfold, starting with an extremely prominent double die error on the obverse side, particularly visible in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2016, where each letter and number appeared to be shadowed or replicated, a telltale sign of a misalignment during the hubbing process that resulted in a double die. And while double die coins are treasured among collectors, their value multiplies when the doubling is strong and visible to the naked eye. and even more so when the coin is from a modern year like 2016, where such errors are virtually unheard of due to the digital precision employed during die creation. And then came the realization that this coin was also struck on a foreign planchet, possibly intended for a coin from another country, evidenced by its weight, coloration, and slightly off-sized dimensions, which differed just enough from a standard US penny to raise suspicion and trigger metallurgical testing that later confirmed a non-standard metal composition, including traces of nickel and manganese not normally found in a 2016 Lincoln penny, which should consist of a zinc core coated with copper, and this kind of planchet mix-up usually happens when a blank meant for a different denomination or foreign contract coin is accidentally loaded into the striking chamber, a mistake that becomes exceedingly rare in modern minting but is not completely impossible, especially during transition periods or when old planchets are reintroduced by mistake. And as if the double die and off-metal composition weren't enough, the coin also displayed a striking broad strike error, meaning that it had been struck outside the retaining collar that normally forms the rim of the coin, resulting in a flared, misshapen edge and a slightly larger diameter than normal, another detail that made this coin stand out immediately to any trained eye. And these types of errors typically occur when the collar die fails or is improperly set, allowing the planchet to spread freely under the immense pressure of the strike, creating a coin that looks almost melted around the edges but remains structurally sound. And remarkably, despite all these anomalies, the coin was found in near mint state condition, showing minimal wear and sharp details, which made it all the more valuable because high-grade error coins are exponentially rarer than their circulated counterparts. And when this 2016 D penny was submitted to leading grading services, experts were baffled by the convergence of major error types, double die obverse, off-metal composition, and broad strike, all found in a coin produced in a mint that typically has one of the lowest error rates in the world, and the coin received one of the highest grades ever awarded to a Lincoln penny with major errors, an MS-68 red designation, placing it in a category so elite that only a few coins from any year have achieved similar status. And as news of this coin spread across forums, auction houses, and numismatic conventions, it attracted the attention of elite collectors and investors, many of whom were already hunting for rare modern errors as a new class of high-yield alternative investments, and the bidding war that ensued when the coin was offered for private sale was nothing short of spectacular, ultimately resulting in a $7 million deal brokered between the original finder and an anonymous international buyer who reportedly specializes in acquiring coins with extreme historical and technical significance. And since that transaction, the coin has remained largely out of public view, stored in a high-security vault and occasionally loaned for display at major coin exhibitions where it draws huge crowds and endless curiosity, not only because of its market value but because of the mystery surrounding how such a coin could have been created in the first place, with numerous theories offered by experts including the possibility of leftover or misclassified foreign planchets, unnoticed die flaws, a collar malfunction, and a very narrow production window when all of these issues coincided, creating what is now considered one of the most important error coins of the 21st century. And the 2016 $7 million penny has since inspired a new wave of collectors to pay special attention to coins from recent years, sparking renewed interest in the Lincoln Cent series and creating a community of hunters who now examine every 2016 D penny they come across under magnification, weighing each one carefully and hoping to find even a hint of similar anomalies. And this renewed focus has led to the discovery of other 2016 D pennies with minor errors, some with light doubling, others with die cracks or weak strikes, but none have yet matched the breathtaking combination of errors and condition that made the original so spectacular. And the story of this coin continues to resonate not only because of its financial implications but because of the philosophical questions it raises about chance, value, and the limits of automated perfection, as even in a system designed to be flawless, a single moment of mechanical inconsistency created a coin that defied expectations and became a symbol of how tiny imperfections can lead to immense reward. And that's the magic of coin collecting, the idea that something as overlooked as a penny can hold the power to rewrite history and challenge our understanding of value. And while the odds of finding another coin like this are astronomically small, the possibility remains, driving thousands of collectors, both amateur and professional, to keep searching, to keep learning, and to keep believing that maybe, just maybe, lightning can strike twice. And so the 2016 D penny stands not only as a valuable object but as a beacon of hope, an inspiration for those who dare to dream and for those willing to look a little closer at the world around them, because sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest stories. And if you found this deep dive into one of the rarest and most fascinating modern coin errors as thrilling as we did, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a single discovery, a single auction result, or a single unbelievable tale from the world of coin collecting, where every coin tells a story and some stories are worth millions.